my beautiful lovelies, it's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you and welcome back. Today we're going to be baking some bread, chicken bread. Not bread shaped like a chicken, but bread made out of chicken. This recipe is keto friendly, carnivore friendly, gluten-free friendly, because it is made from chicken. There's no flour in it, no wheat, no grains, no rice, just chicken. But it looks like bread. Kind of reminds me of cloud bread, which is from a few years ago, this poofy, lovely thing that looks very bread-like, but not bread-like when you actually taste it. And it got really popular on the TikToks. The recipe I'm going to be testing today comes from the Gracious Pantry, and I'll put a link to the original down below, and that was inspired by some TikTok videos. So ultimately, I'm super curious about what this bread is like. Will it taste like chicken? Will it taste savory? Will it feel like bread? Will it behave like bread? Will it toast? And what will it taste like? Because I myself am watching my wheat and bread intake because I found I've developed a skin allergy, and so I really have to limit how much bread and wheat I consume, which is very, very sad because I really, really love bread so very much. Like a toasted piece of bread with a slice of tomato. At any rate, let's make this bread and see what it's like. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm heating up a skillet here on medium-high heat, and I'm gonna add some oil to it because I'm gonna cook 1 pound of ground chicken. I've also seen this recipe made with pork and even beef, so I think any kind of ground meat would work. I think the flavor, I imagine, would be a little bit different between chicken, pork, and beef. All right, so I've got tablespoon or 2 of oil heating up in my pan and 1 pound of ground chicken. Oh, pan's not very hot. Is this on? It is. Oh, you know what? I bet my fuel can is okay. Okay. My fuel was a little low. All right, so I'm gonna heat that up a little bit more. Okay, there we go. All right, ground chicken into the pan. Oh, did you see what happened there? Remove the paper. Wow. That's not the first time that's happened. I think it was in my Mississippi pot roast video. I almost put the paper in too. Yeah. All right. I have this tool called a spatula, but I also have this tool that lovely Brian sent me. And this is for ground meats, and it works pretty well. Kind of just chop it all up. I do find the meat gets kind of caught in the little crevices a bit, but it's really great at chopping it all up. All right, so that cooked up very, very quickly. All right, so we just want to cook it up so that the chicken is no longer pink or raw. This is going to bake, so that will also cook it further. But chicken, look at that. Oops, it's squeaky. So now we're going to turn off the heat and allow this to cool a bit before we blend it up, because we are going to add eggs to this. Even more protein, but more importantly, the eggs are going to be what causes this bread to rise, along with some baking powder and baking soda. But the reason why I want this to cool off a bit is we don't want to scramble up the eggs when we blend it up, because if we do, then it reduces the leavening power of the eggs. So just let that cool, turned off the heat, and stir it up a bit to let it cool off. Tastes like chicken? Good. All right, my lovelies, I transferred the chicken to a bowl to help it cool down a bit, and it is still warm, but it's not just right out of the pan wicked hot, so we should be all right. Now into the pitcher of my blender goes my cooked chicken. Okay, tried to get it into the pitcher. Now we're going to add some leavening. To this, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of baking soda, bloop, and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. This is what will make it foam up. And then for more seasoning, this is definitely a savory bread. We're going to be adding 2 tablespoons of Italian seasoning. So this is a combination of basil, marjoram, oregano, 2 tablespoons of that. Ooh, quite a bit. It's going to be herby. And because I like it, I'm going to add some cracked black pepper. And then to make this more liquidy and batter-like, and for leavening and flavor, we're going to add some eggs, some beautiful eggs. Look at those eggs. Aren't they gorgeous? Give thanks, chickens. All right, so our hens have just recently started laying within the last month or so, and when they do that, the reproductive system is kind of just working it all out, and oftentimes you will get double yolkers. And double yolkers means there are 2 yolks inside 1 egg. Pretty stinking great. And one of our chickens has been doing that. Actually, a couple of our hens have been doing it pretty regularly, but one chicken in particular has been laying these gigantic eggs. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be a double yolker. So if you compare it to a kind of a standard size egg, look at the size of that. It's massive, so beautiful. Just based on its size, I'm gonna guess that this is a double, but let's see. Beautiful egg. Thank you, my girl. Let's see. Yes! Look how beautiful. 2 yolks in 1 egg. Into there. So recipe calls for 6 eggs. And I might just do 5 since I had a double yolker. Alrighty, there are our eggs. We're just going to blend this until it's really, well, pureed. Here we go. Increase the speed. Ooh, look how yellow it is. Let's check the consistency. It's still a little chunky. Give it a stir. It smells good. It smells like, kind of like pasta sauce. Alrighty, so we want to liquefy this. Okay. Then I've got a loaf pan here. I believe this is about 4.5 by 9 inches. And I've already sprayed it with cooking spray so that we can extricate our loaf of bread. That's what it looks like. All right, into the pan. So get as much of that into our pan as we can and even it out just like we were to make a banana bread. And then into a preheated 350-degree oven for 40 to 50 minutes. And then we will let it cool completely before we slice it. There it is. All right, my lovelies, I'll see you in an hour or so. Well, plus cooling time. I'll see you in a little bit and we'll slice this and see what it's like. Alrighty, see you in a little bit. Alrighty, my lovelies, I am back. It has been about an hour since I placed my chicken bread batter into the oven, and here is the bread. Check it out. It looks kind of like a loaf of zucchini bread or something. See those little flecks of Italian seasoning? It didn't rise all that much, and it didn't say exactly how to check for doneness, but I did do the stick a skewer in it and see if it came out clean, and it did. It is still slightly warm, but you know what? I'm just gonna slice it because that's what I do when I make bread, even if it's chicken bread. It smells great in here. It smells like Italian seasoning and a kind of savoriness, a little bit like sausage. So let's give this a taste. I've placed it on a rack, took it right out of the pan. It was really easy to take out when it came out of the oven, and I placed it on a rack, and I've got it elevated here so it could cool off a little bit faster. So let's go ahead and give it a slice. So the original recipe post has a kind of helpful tip in terms of slicing this bread. So typically when I make bread in a loaf pan, I would slice it this way, crosswise, you know, going across just like you would slice zucchini bread. But this is a pretty small slice of bread if you were trying to make a sandwich. So for a more typical slice of bread, they suggest first cutting it in half. That's what it looks like. It looks like bread, doesn't it? Look at the tiny holes. This bottom part's pretty flat though, huh? It looks like bread. Doesn't smell like bread. So if we were to slice it this way, we'd have pretty small pieces, but they suggest slicing it this way. So try to get 4 slices out of this if we can. I don't know if we can. We can try. Yeah, I think so. All right, let's do it. So we're going to cut it vertically. Ta-da! Look at that. Surprisingly bread-like. Try to get 4 slices out of this. So maybe it's better to slice it when it is cold, because it just did that, just like collapsed on me. So I'm going to slice this other one cold. This way you get a decent slice of bread, right? So you can make a sandwich like this. This is still warm, and when I sliced it, it kind of just fell apart. So I am going to wait till it completely cools before I slice it some more. But we can go ahead and give it a taste. Very bread-like. Alrighty, let's give our chicken bread a taste. My very first taste of chicken bread. There's no flour, wheat, grain in this whatsoever. Alrighty, here we go. Itadakimasu. You know, it tastes pretty good. It's very savory, full of Italian flavor. In terms of a flavor profile, it's a bit like croutons. It's very heavily seasoned, and I'm surprised that it doesn't need any salt whatsoever. The recipe suggests that it doesn't need any salt, and it's right. No salt whatsoever. It has plenty of salt in there. Very savory and umami. That chicken in there gives it a kind of chicken bouillon-y flavor along with the Italian seasoning. You know, sometimes you have soup and you dip your bread in there to absorb some of the soup. It's like that, but not as soggy. It's like a sponge that you've dipped in water and then wrung out the water. It's wet. So I'm gonna take a piece of this and pop it in the toaster and see if I can get it to toast. Okay, so now we're gonna toast it, and I'm gonna have it with some butter. 1 more minute. Let's see. It's smelling good. It's still not toasting though. Let's make it a little darker. So it's been toasting for 4 minutes, and I'm going to give it more time because I'm not seeing any caramelization, any indication that it looks like toast, and I really want it to look like toast. Whether it has the texture of toast, I'm skeptical, but I want it to look like toast at least. So going in for another few more minutes. It's a long time to make toast. Okay, let's grab our toast. Boop, boop, boop. All right, so the bread was in there for a full 7 minutes, and this is what it looks like. All right, here's the bread toasted, untoasted. See the difference? It actually is a little bit smaller in dimension, right? A little darker in color, and if you listen to it, got some crispness. Okay. All right, let's put some butter on it. All right, it's melting nicely. All right, melted butter. Alrighty, whoa. Alrighty, let's give it a taste toasted. Ooh, it's hot. Itadakimasu. It's strange. I think I might like it better cooled, because it is a bit drier on the outside, but it's not crunchy or crispy like ordinary bread is. It's more kind of just dried out, desiccated. And then the inside is steamy and seems even more moist than it is when you just have it cool. Yeah. That's disappointing. I do like the additional flavor of the butter, but this makes it feel more and taste more like a meatball. Steamy, moist, and more meaty rather than bready, which is disappointing because I always look forward to toasted bread. I feel like the bread is more alive somehow. You know what I mean? But in this case, it doesn't really work for me. It makes it seem more like a meatball. But having said that, if you were to make this into a hot sandwich, say like a pastrami, hot pastrami or something, I think it would work all right because that whole sandwich is kind of a steam thing. But yeah, I think it's better cold. Alrighty, my lovelies, there you have it. This is chicken bread. All around, better than I thought it was going to be. Definitely for a savory sandwich situation, or maybe to accompany a soup or something, some kind of savory dish, a stew, but definitely not as a sweet, and I don't recommend the toasting either. Alright, my lovelies, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media. Get in touch with me. I love hearing from you. Like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo. Take care. Bye. It's crazy to think this is chicken and eggs in the form of bread, but it's not. It's basically chicken mousse, right? But we add baking powder and baking soda to make it look like bread. Kind of makes your head hurt. I don't like the hot version as much as the colder version, but even this is strange. Oh, it's like a soggy crouton. Like you took croutons and dropped it in a bowl of chicken soup. 100%. Got it.